I think this is in response to the Soros review that they put out today.
Hey there, gamers. DreamCast Guy here. Today we're talking about IGN because this website, despite being the biggest place for gaming on the entire planet, it feels like IGN sucks. A lot of their reviews.
You don't say. Dreamcast Guy, welcome to the year 2012. Like, dude, IGN has sucked for like over a decade at this point.
Reviews lately, especially, have just been so incredibly bad. I mean, there have actually been multiple reviews, literally just in the last month, that are actually factually wrong. We're talking about.
I think the Crimson Desert review, I think, is valid. A 6 out of 10 in its launch date, I think, was pretty generous.
The review for Mouse PR for Hire. Everybody on the entire internet made fun of that. They didn't.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it objectively wrong. It just makes the guy who wrote it a fucking dumbass. So you can't have an objectively wrong game review unless you state things about the game that are inherently false. He just had a shitty opinion.
One for this like indie game called Replaced. It was so inaccurate they actually had to delete the headline because it was a lie. Even Soros today, everybody's giving it 9s and 10s, and IGN gave it a 7. Now I want to
I trust in IGN.
Talk about this because I try my best not to attack the major websites as much, mostly because I feel like they are just giant, boring companies for the most part. It's not one individual guy. Every bad review you see from IGN, usually it's not because, IGN sucks as much as that particular reviewer sucks, but it goes beyond that. I think that IGN has gotten so bad at their jobs, it feels like malicious incompetence. It feels like they literally, up and down the ladder, every editor, every manager, everybody at this company just seems to, be bad at games, to hate games. Let's talk about it because there are just now so many examples. I want to go through like 10 examples today of straight up videos done by.
I mean, look at what games they gush for. Like, that's all you need to know about journos, man, is just look at the type of games that they gush over. It's all the walking simulators. It's all the cinematic slop simulators. Like, most of these guys don't want to be reviewing video games. They want to be reviewing movies, most likely, or TV shows, or being some sort of access journalist to the, Hollywood industry. Just like how, most game not directors, I guess. I guess directors, but more so writers want to be film, industry people. But instead, they're stuck making video games. Hideo Kojima, prime example. Literally on record multiple times saying that he doesn't want to make video games, but that's what he's forced to make because nobody will pay for him to make a movie. So, open admission, most of these guys don't even want to work in this industry. They don't like video games. They just have to do it because they couldn't cut it in Hollywood. Which, unless you're part of a certain group of God's chosen, that's by design. SNK Nostalgia with D2. To be fair, Returnal is fun as fuck. Soros gameplay. It is definitely a gameplay-driven experience, for sure. I'm just not a huge fan of the roguelike gameplay loop, personally. That was my biggest gripe. But yeah, the gameplay for it's fun. I mean, the thing is the studio that makes those games, I can't remember off the top of my head. I used to play a game called Super Stardust HD on PS3, and then, what was it, Resogun on the PS4. I really liked both of those games, but outside of that, I really have not played many of their other ones. Like, I had, what was it called? They made another game after Resogun. I can't remember what the name is, but you had to, like, pick up the little green humans. That one was pretty decent, too. But, I don't know. Returnal just did not do it for me, and I think it's the roguelike aspect.
IGN, they're getting downvote bombed into the planet, and for good reason. Let's discuss. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I wanted to begin with this example of what I feel like is, it seems like a lot of these big websites now are just being written by AI. Like, straight up, a lot of times their stuff just doesn't even seem like a human attempted to type it. Like, look at this title here. Tech boss of developer Sony is shutting down, thinks PlayStation has pulled back from PC, not in response to next-gen Xbox, but Steam Machine. Now, I think what they're trying to say is that now there's a lot of talk about how basically PlayStation is pulling stuff off of Steam, and that's not because next-gen Xbox will play Steam games, it's because of the Steam Machine. But everybody is like, what? Do you want to redo that sentence? I had a stroke reading this. everybody is like, want to go back to grammar class? This is the thing, is that IGN has this strange sense where part of the problem with IGN is not only they have thousands of employees worldwide, but IGN is like 15 different outlets. And it seems like the international outlets do seem to have smaller teams, more focus, and actually higher quality. It's this American giant conglomerate that...
Wait, so they have higher quality because they gave a PlayStation game a higher review?
Bruh.
Giant HQ. This is
funny how that works. Yeah, Housemarque. That's the name of the studio. Yep.
The most bad at it, which seems odd, but let me keep going through examples here. Look, I think a good review is not about telling you what you want to hear. It's not, oh, I thought this game would be a 9. It got a 9. The best reviews, and I think part of the reason people like watching my reviews, if I read the comment section, is that people like the fact that...
I think this is a very fair assessment of Crimson Desert when it launched. Crimson Desert is an extremely ambitious open world adventure, and that ambition is what makes it both incredibly cool and gobsmackingly infuriating in almost equal measure. That is spot on. For everything that was great about, Crimson Desert, there was one or two things that were just as fucking bad. So I think that's a very fair assessment. If anything, I would have bumped it down a point or two, but I think that's spot on. Now, they've done a lot to remedy the game post-launch, which, credit where credit's due. But when you review a game, you review it at the time that it releases.
Even if you disagree with my conclusions, I tell you enough about it that you can determine whether it's $70 for you, right? I gave Crimson Desert a 9.5 out of 10, and I absolutely stand by that, because to me, it is a game with hundreds of hours of exploration and crazy magic and weird mixed themes, and honestly, in a lot of ways, I just think it's so fun. To me, it is a 9.5 out of 10. But this 6 out of 10, you could say, all right, the number itself is wrong, but I still agree with the conclusion. But the problem is that, just in general, a lot of times their reviews seem to not even really reflect what the game is. A lot of times, if you watch it, you can't even tell if it's really the game for you. Recently, people were really picking this apart. The Mouse PI for Hire, again, another game I absolutely loved. I gave this a 9 out of 10. It got a 6 out of 10. Now, the problem with it is that literally... Okay, too many cheese jokes, I agree with that. You kill too many people, yes. In a boomer shooter, you're killing people. There's not enough noir. The entire game is literally a 1930s noir Mickey Mouse game. Too many references to old movie. It is literally a parody of old style, like 1930s Casablanca era films. Too many arenas to kill enemies. It is literally an arena-based shooter. Every single part of the line. Like, I get frustrated at reviews like this because I know for a fact I have had a chance to talk one-on-one with multiple IGN reviewers. And here's the thing, right? For every IGN video that's getting made, they get like 10 copies of the game, because what they do is essentially when they're reviewing Saros, it's not just the 10 copies going to the 10 different flavors of IGN. Just IGN US gets 10 copies of every single game. One for the reviewer, one for the editor, one for the video team, one for the guides, and then a couple extras just for people that need to make like different podcast content. Now, my problem is that, oh man, there's only so many codes to go around. It's just weird that I can't help but think that those 10 codes would be better given to like small YouTubers, passion projects, people that are going to just spend,
Give it to me! Give it to me instead!
A lot of time hyper-analyzing and doing a good, actual, thorough review. And
you have never done a good, thorough review in your entire life, Dreamcast guy. Every single review you do is like the most surface-level, 10-minute slop fest that tells you absolutely fuck all about the game other than, I heckin' love it, dude. It's so good. I'm a huge fan. Come on, bruh. Like, none of his reviews have even broke the 20-minute mark. That's the brutal reality. And that's again nostalgia with the 2. Why do we let this man suffer? I know. We need to make him wealthy so he can retire and never have to talk about video games again.
Even if they end up hating it or liking it, I feel like that's not the outcome. It's that the way that IGN actually works when it comes to their reviews, because I've talked to their people, one guy goes home with it and plays the whole game start to finish, right? He's got weeks to do that, and he writes the review, and then he turns it into his boss. A separate person records the gameplay, and then your editor, a lot of times, you don't make the score. Your boss reads your review and says, this sounds like a 6. Do you agree? And you go, yes or no. So it is just kind of weird.
What's wrong with that?
Like, it feels like such a corporate breakdown of what should be, in a lot of ways, a cool, impassioned, emotional response. I feel like game reviews are the best when somebody is very passionate about, here's why this is good, here's why this is bad, here's why this is Concord.
That's literally what they're doing. They're just assigning an arbitrary score to that sentiment. Does he not realize that's what's happening? What the fuck is he even talking about?
Here's why it's Crimson Desert. Now, everybody is making fun of that mouse PR for hire. Obviously, one of the most famous bad reviews of all time was by IGN, where they said the water-based Pokemon game had too much water. So, of course,
Yeah, that was funny.
Mouse PR for hire had to make a joke and say that it's got too much cheese. That's a pretty good joke, right? Capping my cheese at like 9 is a crime, but I still love the game. Everybody is like making fun. Too much water. Now, here's the review they had to delete. Before we get into the Saros drama that's going on today, they had to delete a review for replaced, and you can see replaced the game actually is replying to it. IGN said this is a AI game, and it's not. It is a game where it's about an AI, meaning an artificial intelligence, that basically gets accidentally downloaded into a human body and goes on this big, like, cool cyberpunk adventure. Apparently, the reviews for replaced have been very, very good. Everybody actually says it looks great. Just real quick, I want to show you the aesthetic of it, just because, honestly, this game, not enough people are talking about it. Look how crazy this looks. Look at that, right? When you look at this, it's honestly, I feel like it's disrespectful to say it's AI generated, because honestly, it's such clearly a game that this team clearly cared about it. And IGN said, oh yeah, it's just some AI generated game. And it's not. Now they said, oh, we made a mistake. They got community noted for this and they deleted it, but they went, oh, what we actually meant is that it's a game that is about AI. It's not an AI game. But everyone's like, okay, well, you're phrasing it like it's AI slop. They had to come out here just to clarify the game does not use any generative AI. What IGN was referring to is the story about AI in an alternate 1980s America. It is 100% handcrafted by humans. It's not made with AI. It's about AI. Everybody is like, brother, what are you doing? But here's the thing today, right? Saros, all great reviews. I'm not going to pretend that Saros is the best game of all time. It was like a 95 on Metacritic until a couple more reviews dropped while I was filming this, but now it's an 89 on Metacritic. It's technically, I think, the second highest rated game of the entire year, which is pretty wild. But look at that. 9s and 10s pretty much across the board. And then suddenly, right there at the very bottom, IGN gave it a 7. Now, in the actual comment section of it, you can see everybody is like making memes. Life when you don't acknowledge IGN reviews. Look at this. Metacritics, you guys should revisit how much weight IGN has on their aggregated score. It's unbelievable that they complain about a roguelike element in a roguelike. Now,
nope, it's not. It's not. Dude, that's like saying, oh, well, you know, I'm going to excuse a shitty mechanic because every single, you know, game in a particular genre has had this shitty mechanic. That's like saying that you should never innovate. Like, dude, this would be like if you had a game that has a massive fucking open world, right? And no open world game up until that point had a fast travel system. And somebody was like, I wish there was some way to get across the map faster than having to walk back and forth constantly. I think that would have really improved my experience. So because of that, I'm going to dock some points off. Just because, you know, something has been that way forever doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Again, this is a glorified opinion that people are soying the fuck out over for whatever reason. You know, they somehow attach some sort of value to what another person, I guess, rates a video. It's odd to me. It's very odd. Unemployed behavior, if you ask me, but again, who fucking cares? SNK Nostalgia with D2. Griffin owes me a hello. Hello, I am from Microsoft. Please enter the last 3 digits of your the last 4 digits of your social security number and the 3-digit code on the back of your credit card. Now, repeat to me the expiration date. Okay. Now, read me the 16-digit code on the front of your Visa MasterCard. Okay, buddy, what is your billing address? Now make sure to include the zip code. Indeed. Indeed, man. Go to this website, remote viewer, yeah. No! Dude, hold on. Wait, let me see if I can find that Iran ship one real quick. Indian ship Iran. Let's see if we can find that. That shit was so fucking funny. Oh my god. I am on the list. No, I am on the list. Hold on a second. Fuck. I don't know if it's on YouTube.
evening, sir. This is Reina Stefanevi. Afternoon. The raid is locked and path from that is forbidden. And there is no any permission for you to use from the raid. You are ordered to go back to your departure immediately. You are ordered to go back to your departure immediately. You get my message?
Okay, copied your message. I will turn back and there is no permission to transit Hormuz. That's correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
This isn't it. Shit. Maybe? Oh, fuck. That wasn't it. Damn. Is it not going to be on here? Is this it?
Sepa Navy. This is Motorangastan Marhedal. You gave me clearance to go. My name second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Let me turn back. Sepa Navy.
Super Navy. Bruh.
Sepa Navy. This is Motorangastan Marhedal.
This is Motor Dinghy San Miguel.
You gave me clearance to go. My name second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Let me turn back. Sepa Navy. This is Motorangastan Marhedal. You gave me clearance to go. My name second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now.
Bro, this just beyond parody. It's so fucking funny.
This is not a joke. Their complaint is that the game feels repetitive.
Oh, man.
A roguelike. You know how many roguelikes I play? A lot. You know the fun of a roguelike? So their major complaint, the reason they docked so many points, is that the way it works is the way every roguelike works. You know, if you want to get to the boss...
Okay, but just because that's how every roguelike works doesn't mean it's a good thing. I don't like the roguelike genre because of that exact reason. So I don't think it's crazy for other people to feel the same way. Personally. You know? Just... At the end of the day, who fucking cares?
Boss and you die, you have to redo the level, re-getting your power-ups, your upgrades, your buffs, your debuffs, and get to that boss with as much health as possible and try and survive. And this guy said that repeating levels feels boring.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
In a roguelike. You know,
okay, what is the problem with that? If it feels boring to repeat levels in a roguelike, isn't that a, inherent flaw in the game itself? Shouldn't a roguelike have levels that are fun to repeat? Again, I don't know why we're excusing bad game design because it's always heckin' been that way, dude. Like, maybe it shouldn't be that way forever. Maybe every game doesn't do it equally well. Did you ever think about that?
The whole fun of playing through the game, getting better builds, getting everything in conjunction, and then trying again to defeat that boss and permanently progressing. Yeah, he said that the roguelike element of the game, of the roguelike, is the bad part.
Okay. And you don't understand how someone might dock points for that because they didn't do a good job implementing it? I mean, call me crazy, but it makes sense to me.
He literally called it repetitive. Now, every other person is saying it's great, looks incredible, challenging modifiers can make the game easier or harder, permanent progression is welcome between runs. I'll be honest, that sounds most excited to me. I love roguelikes with cool, permanent power-ups to you level faster, you're stronger and stuff. Combat is intense, but rewarding. Unlock second chance as early as you can. Great story. So it seems like everybody is liking this but IGN, and a lot of people are straight up saying, maybe they do need to be taken off Metacritic. They won't, I'm sure, but it's crazy. IGN got to be the worst outlet. Let's be edgy and give low review scores for clickbait stuff. Is my review score too low? No, it's the other reviewers who are wrong. Oh my god, someone did the too much cheese meme immediately. Oh my god.
SNK nostalgia with the 2. Perhaps video games should be fun. No. Never. No fun. No fun allowed, bro. It needs to be super serial and no fun. The more boring and miserable the game is, the better.
You're clearly doing low review scores to get clicks and a reaction. Every single person is giving us a 9 or a 10, saying it's game of the year, and then you do this, we see you. And I think it's the fact that it's not that I just disagree with it, it's that I feel like
It's like someone docking Final Fantasy because it's violent. No, I think the comparison you're looking for here is it's like docking Final Fantasy because it's not turn-based, even though Final Fantasy hasn't been turn-based since really Final Fantasy 4, with the exception of 10. But most people aren't ready for that conversation.
Fundamentally, they seem to misunderstand the point of the games they're trying to review. Like when you say this roguelike is too much of a roguelike, when you say that your Mickey Mouse style game is too much like classic Mickey Mouse, when you talk about how Crimson Desert has too much to do, too much to see, it feels like you fundamentally do not understand the passion you're trying to explore. You know what I do when I review a game? A lot of times I like to try and at least replay part of its predecessor. So right now I'm playing Returnal again before I review Sorrows. You know, that makes sense. A lot of times if I'm playing Crimson Desert or something like that, I'll try into other like weird, cool experimental RPGs that are similar. So I sort of have like a vibe going into it. I'm properly prepared to explore how different or more advanced it is. Everything from IGN lately feels so amateur. And I do truly mean that in the worst way possible, which is that used to IGN reviews, good or bad, there was a sense that this person is an expert in the field.
What? IGN reviews felt like they were an expert in the field? Dude, IGN literally got popular because they used to crank out 3-minute slop reviews on every single major release. What the fuck is he talking about? Like, IGN literally was the home of like 4 to 5 minute reviews. They quite literally did the complete opposite of what he's describing. I guess we're living in an alternate fucking reality.
And even if I disagree with like some of their outcomes, I can understand their logic. But lately, it just seems like their logic is gone. It really does feel like they're just literally grabbing random people who can write halfway decent and saying, hey, here's a game you've never heard of. Is it good or bad? And you get some very strange answers. Calling Crimson Desert infuriating is a choice. These have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts, though. How do you feel about IGN, and how do you feel about, honestly, the state of big game reviews? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. And I can't...
SNK Nostalgia with a 2. Dreamcast guys, why there isn't a balcony at the casino. Brutal, man. Oh my god. Yikes. And they seal the windows, right?
Can't wait to review Sorrows. I should be getting a copy a little before launch, so probably a launch day review, hopefully. Everything lines up. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see some...
It's just kind of ironic because everything that he accuses IGN of, he does himself. He plays the game for a few hours, shits out a half-assed 10-minute review, you know, assigns an overinflated score to pretty much every game he plays, and the end. So it's kind of ironic, if you ask me.